In this video, we're going to talk about how the electricity works inside a coach. It's very different than at home, and so it's great to prepare for this adequately before your trip and best ways to manage and conserve. First and foremost, coaches are equipped with battery banks that provide power to things like lights and other surfaces and appliances when the coach is in motion. But there are certain appliances that require more power than a battery bank can provide. And so all of our coaches are equipped with onboard generators, and all of our coaches also can be plugged in when you get to your campgrounds, which we highly recommend, and that provides limitless power to everything in the coach. Systems that would require the generator or shore power would include, in most coaches, outlets, the TV, your refrigerator, your air conditioning, and your microwave. All of these typically draw more power than what a battery bank can provide sufficiently. We recommend several times throughout the day always going by your control panel and checking to see where your battery power's at. In this case, we can see it's at 2/3 power. This is where you're going to hook up your shore power on your coach when you're staying at a place that has hookups. All of our Class C coach require 30 amp hookups at campgrounds. You would grab the cable that's equipped with the coach, you would hook it up on this end, and then on the other end you would hook up to what we call the power pedestal at your campground. Make sure you flip on the 30 amp breaker once you hook it up to the pedestal. Lastly, to confirm that you're getting power from your shore cord, this little light should illuminate blue, and there's also a light on the cord that lights up to make sure that you know that power is coming from land to the coach. Your onboard generators are designed to be used at the same time that your engine is and as you're traveling down the road for comfort. Generators are typically required to provide extra power or recharge your battery banks. In coaches that are driving down the road and not hooked up at a campground, a generator gives you the ability to power things like a microwave, to power your outlets or your TV, and also to run your onboard air conditioning and not the dash air conditioning for comfort inside the RV. I want to show you the startup sequence for the generator. So inside of your control panel, you have a start and stop button here and a generator hours button so you can monitor your generator. Now right now we can't hear the generator because it's off. And hopefully you can hear this on the video, but we're going to do a start and stop procedure. This can take several times, just like starting an old car can. Your generators on these coaches run off the same gas tank that the engine does. And oftentimes you can create a bit of a vapor lock when you're driving down the road and all the fuel is being pulled one way and the air is going back to the line to the generator, meaning you're going to have to prime it and you might have to try to attempt to start it a few times before it turns over. So in this sequence, we've simulated this for you. The first thing you would want to do anytime you start the generator is first hold down the stop button. Stop button is priming the generator right now. Hold this down from a count from 5 to 10 seconds. Once you've done that sufficiently, hold down the start button just like turning a key on a car to start the motor. Make sure when you do this, you don't overgrind the starter and burn it up. So you want to hold this down for a couple seconds, and if the engine doesn't turn on, start the priming sequence again, start the starting sequence again. Once the generator's turned on, it takes about 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden you will hear a beep inside coming from the microwave, letting you know that power has now been initiated from your generator to your appliances. You should never have to access your generator compartment when you're out on a rental. But in the off chance that for some reason maybe you had a power surge or you blew a breaker, I wanted to familiarize you with the breaker location on these Cummins generators. So you would open up the hatch and then remove the heat shield, and you can see right inside back here is a switch, a breaker switch, just like at your house. And if you had run a microwave and maybe an air conditioning and several other things and overloaded the generator while it was on generator power, this breaker can get flipped. So you would just come out here, access the breaker, flip it back. All coaches are also equipped with a master power switch. So in the event that your coach has no power at all, this is something you would want to check. If this is flipped off, it kills power to lights, plugs, and everything on board. Make sure this is always on, and we recommend never touching this when you rent an RV.